Hello, welcome to the first installment of the video blog for the documentary, The Bankruptcy of Ethics. In this installment, we're going to take a look at the right way and the wrong way to enter into a sales contract. And we'll see that in the long run, no matter which way you go, you can still get screwed in the end. We're calling this episode Dumbass, because that's exactly what I was. I'm going to walk you through all the mistakes that I've made in the situation that I'm in hopes that if you ever find yourself entering into a sales agreement, you won't make the mistakes I did. Now, even if you do this the right way, you still might get shit hammered, but that's the American way. Avoidance of legitimate debts. You should know going into this that the laws are stacked in favor of the deadbeats. So, let's get started. This is a contract for an installment sale of business equipment, assets, inventory, customer list. It sold everything except the name of the company, even assigned rights to use the name to the buyer for the next 5 years. It's been duly signed, dated, notarized. It's also gone unpaid for 7 months. So how did I channel my inner dumbass to get into a situation like this? Well, first, I entered into a business agreement with a friend. I know. Common wisdom dictates against that, but the fact is a properly constructed and tightly clad contract can do more to protect your friendship than a so-called friendly agreement can. Cue up the dumbass music and I'll show you exactly what I mean. The first mistake I made was to finance the deal myself. Well, it was for a friend. I was offering a great business opportunity, and it seemed like a no-brainer. What you don't count on is that the friendship starts becoming a barrier to payments. Dude, I'm short this month. Can I catch up next month? Or, here's half. I'll pay the rest as soon as I get it. Now, your debtor would never dream of saying these things to his electric company, or his mortgage company, or his phone company, or his cable company. They wouldn't listen to this. Any bank would have their gold-plated vice grips on your balls before you even hung up the phone. That's why banks and the mafia should be in the money business, and friends should not. The second mistake was not getting security in the way of assets and receivables in case the debt wasn't repaid. Well, let me explain my dumbass logic here. My friend was starting up a business, and I wanted him to be able to get a line of credit. I didn't ask for the assets as security, so he'd be able to offer them to a bank as collateral on a credit line. I wanted my friend to succeed and to have every possibility of paying me back. So I thought I was doing a favor. But in matters of finance, we have to remember, no good deed goes unpunished. So now I'm going to present Larry's first law. Your intention to give debtors the ability to repay you will always be trumped by their intention to not pay you. The third mistake was not specifying what would happen if payments weren't made or if the contract went into default. Now, once again, being a friend, I did write in a clause that would allow him to skip a payment during a time when I thought business might be slow. But I put in nothing to protect myself in case he decided to stop paying me. Why? Because I'm an enlightened and spiritual man. And at that point in time, I was contaminated with new agey nonsense about not introducing the idea of default into the proceedings, which was total bullshit. The idea had already been introduced. Anyone who's ever bought a house, a car, anything of that magnitude has always considered that what-if scenario if he can't make the payments. And you can be sure that banks and mortgage companies are considering that all the time. But not friends. Friends wouldn't do that. Now I'm going to give you Larry's second law. Never expect anyone else to have your high ethical standards. They don't. Most of them aren't even capable of it. When it's time to cut nuts and they have to choose between paying you and paying themselves always wins. At this point, your friend doesn't care if your kids are hungry, if your wife's in the hospital, or if you've come down with a case of Old Testament boils. He's going to pay his cable bill before he pays you. He's going to pay for his wife's anti-aging cream before he pays you. He's going to pay for his kids' ice cream before he pays you. And now you know where you stand. And now, here's Larry's third law. Avoid the lawyers. They only know how to drain your bank account and delay things further. Well, except for my lawyer. He is a good and ethical man. But as for the rest of them, I think Shakespeare had a good plan for them. I swear, when the lawyers get involved with this, they can turn what's already a bad situation into a bizarro world fantasy. Now, I want you to wrap your head around this little gem of logic here. A guy buys a company to make money for himself, but doesn't pay for the company. He then takes money from the company that could be used to pay for the company, but instead uses it to pay a lawyer to prevent him from having to pay for the company. I mean, this is one of those things you tell a cyborg so you can watch smoke come out of its ears and then its head blows up. Now, the one thing that I have discovered through this ordeal is that even if I had done everything right contractually, I could still find myself in this situation because of our current laws. My position in this is not much different from that of a secured lender, except for the fact that I have to file my lawsuit one step earlier than a secured creditor would. Now, even with an ironclad contract, a debtor can still delay, restructure, file bankruptcy, and screw you like a sloppy crack whore in today's legal system. But the reason most lose their battles is their unwillingness to fight them. There are ways for creditors to fight the delays and to win their objections for discharge of debts. You're going to spend a lot of time doing it. You've got to have your facts straight, keep good records, and be willing to spend money. And you'd better be motivated by ethics rather than money, or you will cave in during the process. But that happens to be my strength. I'm going to fight this until I get what's right. And you're going to get to watch every step of it. It's going to be a wild ride. For the lawyers too, because they're not used to dealing with someone who's motivated by ethics. During my research for this, I discovered a lost section of Dante's Inferno where he described a circle of hell devoted specifically to bankruptcy lawyers. Something about having rolls of $50 shoved sideways up their ass for eternity. Ah well, we can dream, can't we? Till next time, fight for what you know is right, and don't let the bastards grind you down.